Character building story. Watermelon Mountains. AC was looking at all the wonderful toys in the toy store. Oh, what a wonderful place! AC saw blocks, cars, and airplanes. AC saw all kinds of stuffed animals. AC saw trucks driving on little roads and trains chugging around railroad tracks. Then AC saw a little red wagon. The little red wagon was just the right size for AC. AC thought he would like to have a little red wagon to pull Wax and his teddy bears around in the backyard. How Wax and the teddy bears would like to ride. AC, your eyes are shining, laughed Daddy. What do you see? Daddy, I see that little red wagon, said AC, grinning. Do you remember when I asked you if I could give my wagon to the little boy down the street? Then I gave my wagon to the little boy because he did not have many toys. Oh, yes, AC, I remember, said Daddy thoughtfully. I remember how happy the little boy was too. Someday I would like to have another wagon, a little red wagon, said AC. Wax and my teddy bears would like to take rides in my little red wagon. Daddy smiled at AC. Maybe you could get a new red wagon, AC. Maybe you could buy a new red wagon all by yourself. You could begin saving money for it right now. AC smiled. AC nodded his head. AC began to think about saving his money as he looked at all the other toys for a few minutes. After a while, Daddy and Mama told AC it was time to go to the grocery store. Mama needed some fresh vegetables to make a salad for supper. In the grocery store, AC looked at all the vegetables. Red radishes and tomatoes, green peppers and orange carrots. AC loved vegetables. AC looked at all the fruits too. Apples, oranges, peaches, pears, grapes, bananas, and cantaloupe. AC loved fruit. Just then, AC spotted a big watermelon. AC liked watermelon best of all. I know, I have a good idea. I could earn money by selling watermelons, Daddy and Mama. Everybody likes watermelon. We could grow some watermelons. I could sell the watermelons to everybody. I could save the money to buy a new wagon. AC jumped up and down. AC, said Daddy with a big smile. That is a great idea. We have a place in the garden that will be just perfect for growing your watermelons. Let's buy a package of seeds. As soon as the Virtusons came back home, Daddy and AC hurried to the garden. Daddy brought the hoe and the rake. Daddy hoed the dirt until it was light and fluffy. Now, AC, you may help me do the next step. This is the job for a boy like you. Remember how you make little mountains in your sandbox? Well, right now, right in the garden, I need you to use the rake to make some little mountains for me. We will plant the watermelon seeds at the top of the mountains. Then we will dig a circle ditch around the bottom of each mountain. That way, when we water the melons, they will have extra water in the ditches. The melons can get a drink anytime they are thirsty. Watermelons drink lots and lots of water, you know. AC did just as Daddy had told him. It was fun to build the mountains. It was fun to learn about planting and watering. It was fun to plant the little watermelon seeds in the tops of the mountains. Daddy pulled out the big garden hose and AC watered his watermelon mountains. Little trickles of water filled up the ditches at the bottom of the watermelon mountains. Daddy and AC went back into the house. They had a nice long drink of water too. They had worked hard together. "You did a wonderful job, AC," said Daddy with a pat on AC's back. The weeks went by fast. Every day, AC cared for his young watermelon plants. AC pulled the weeds from around the plants. AC watered the watermelon mountains. The watermelons soon grew fat and long. Soon, it was the day for the harvest. Harvest means picking or taking from the garden. On harvest day, Daddy and AC tapped the watermelons to make sure they were ripe, ready to eat. Daddy could tell by the tapping sound if the juicy fruit was ready to eat. Daddy and AC picked only the ripe watermelons. That night, the future sons had watermelon for supper. Never before had watermelon tasted so sweet to AC. After they had eaten watermelon, Daddy set up a little table in front of the house. Daddy and AC carried several watermelons out to the table. Mama made a cardboard sign that read, "Fresh watermelons for sale." Daddy sat in a lawn chair nearby and read a book. Mama picked some flowers from her flower garden nearby. AC stood at his watermelon stand. Before long, AC had sold 6 watermelons to happy customers. Daddy and Mama were so pleased. AC was so happy. A few days later, AC had sold all the watermelons he had grown. For weeks and weeks, AC had been saving his money to buy the little red wagon. Daddy had taught AC to give his tithe money to the Lord first. The rest of the money AC saved. AC was glad he was learning to use money wisely. Mama had been keeping AC's money safe for him. One evening, Daddy, Mama, and AC went back to the toy store. AC gave the storekeeper the money he had saved for the little red wagon. Carefully, the storekeeper counted AC's money. There was just enough money to buy the little red wagon. Soon, Daddy was carrying the box with the little red wagon in it to the car. "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Mama," exclaimed AC. "Thank you for helping me earn the money for my little red wagon." "You are so welcome," answered Daddy and Mama. "I think you learned an important lesson too," added Daddy. "You learned that if you try really hard, you can save your money. Instead of buying little things all the time, you saved your money for a big thing you really wanted to buy. It is very important to learn to do that. I'm glad my son is such a good worker too. You really work hard to earn all the money you needed to buy the little red wagon, AC." Daddy and Mama each gave AC a big hug as they climbed into the car. AC could hardly wait to get home. AC knew Wax and his teddy bears were ready for a ride.